Somebody at a barbecue this weekend is going to tell you the housing market is about to collapse, just like 2008. They will say it with total confidence, and they will be off by about 1.1 million foreclosures. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Let's talk about the number everybody feels, but almost nobody actually looks at. Adam, one of the largest property data firms in the country, tracks every foreclosure filing in America. In the first half of 2008, there were 1,332,991 foreclosure filings, 1.3 million households in 6 months. First half of 2026, 227,548. That's an 83% drop. Today's foreclosure activity is not close to 2008. It is not in the same zip code as 2008. It is not even in the same state. So why does everybody still feel like a crash is coming? Because 2008 left a scar. If you lived through it, you remember the for sale signs multiplying down the street. You remember neighbors mailing their keys back to the bank. That kind of memory does not fade. So every time home prices wobble, the brain goes right back there. But here's the question worth asking. What actually caused all those foreclosures in 2008? It was not just falling prices. It was how people got into their homes in the first place. Back then, the industry was handing out loans I can only describe as creative fiction. No income, no justification, no documentation. Adjustable rates had exploded 2 years in. There was even a nickname in the business, ninja loans. No income, no job, no assets. Now, I've been in the mortgage industry for 4 decades, over 4 decades. I watched it happen in real time, and I watched it end badly. So when prices dipped, millions of homeowners had no equity and payments they could never sustain. They were underwater on day one. Walking away was the only math that worked. Now compare that to today. Every loan since the reforms is fully documented. Income verified, assets verified, payments stress tested before approval. The borrower of 2026 would barely recognize the borrower of 2006. And here's the biggest difference of all, equity. American homeowners today are sitting on trillions of dollars in home equity. The typical homeowner with a mortgage has hundreds of thousands of dollars of value above what they owe. So what does that mean for you? It means the safety net works completely differently now. Think of it this way. In 2008, a homeowner who hit a rough patch, a job loss, a divorce, a medical bill, had a house worth less than the loan. The bank was the only exit. Today, that same family and that same rough patch has options. They can sell, pay off the loan, and walk away with a check instead of a foreclosure. That's why the filings collapsed. Hardship still happens. Foreclosures mostly does not, because equity absorbs the blow. Here's an example from my world. A couple came to me on a Zoom consultation. He'd been laid off. They were 3 months from real trouble, and they assumed they were headed for foreclosure because that is the movie they remembered from 2008. We pulled up the numbers. They had over $340,000 in equity. They were not broke. They were illiquid. Those are two very different problems, and only one of them is a crisis. And that brings me to the part of this story most people miss. Equity protected them, but equity did not help them until they could reach out. You cannot pay a grocery bill with a bedroom wall. Home equity is a wonderful protection, but it is trapped wealth until you have a strategy for it. This is why I keep telling you strategy beats rate always. The families who got hurt in 2008 did not get hurt because of a quarter point on their rate. They got hurt because their whole structure was fragile. No liquidity, no cushion, no plan B. The families who are positioned well in 2026 are not the ones bragging about the rate they locked. They are the ones who know exactly what their equity is, what it is doing, and how fast they could reach it if life threw a punch. So here's my challenge for you this week. Answer 2 questions. 1, how much equity do you actually have right now? Not a guess, the real number. You can get it at rsrlinks.com/homewealth. rsrlinks.com/homewealth. 2, if you needed part of it in 30 days, do you know how you would access it? If you cannot answer both, I built something for you. Go to rsrlinks.com/homewealth. That's rsrlinks.com/homewealth. It'll help you understand what your equity really is, what it protects you from, and what it could be doing for your family instead of just sitting there. It takes a few minutes and it might change how you see the biggest asset you own. The headlines will keep trying to sell you 2008 reruns. The data says we are living in a different market with different loans, different borrowers, and a record cushion of equity underneath it all. Fear makes great television. It makes terrible financial decisions. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com.